Welcome to the next episode of Revolutionary Talk. It's Valentine's Day week, so we're talking
Man,
relationships.
oh boy, this will be fun and interesting.
Yeah. So it's a big week for, I always feel a little bad. Hopefully you guys can help me out here for the people that are single during this time. But relationship with yourself is such a huge thing. And especially this week, of course, people tend to feel guilty for being single or bad for themselves.
Depressed, lonely, isolated.
We don't need that.
It's like quarantine.
Right.
All year long.
So it's interesting. I'd really like to get into the relationships we have with ourselves, because we're the only person we're stuck with for all our lives.
Every second.
So how we treat ourselves is a super important thing, especially, for people that care about Valentine's Day and this time of year. When you think relationship with yourself, what does that entail?
I would say relationship with myself would entail sticking to a routine, like doing the things that scheduling into my day-to-day, my weekly, my monthly routine, sticking to that, because I'm worth making time out to do those things. Just like hanging out with friends would be good for me to do too. So making sure to balance it out. It's all balance.
Yeah, and it's interesting too. I mean, I don't know if you two do the same thing, but I have conversations with myself throughout every day.
All the time.
So
I am my own best friend and my best audience as well. So I get you.
Yeah. So isn't it interesting how some days you're nicer to yourself and some days you're not?
Yes. Constantly. I've noticed that. I'm like, all right, I've really got, especially with the Gemini in me. I got two people fighting with each other. Yeah. When I'm working on projects, back and forth, it's just all day. So if you can imagine those cartoons with, people on either shoulder, that's how my head works sometimes. And so it's like, all right, just stop. I have to refocus and ground to get my head back and get all that craziness out of my head. So
yeah.
I feel that too. I'm my biggest critic. I'm so hard on myself. That's how I've always been. But slowly over the last year, 2 years, it's all right, let's not be so hard on yourself. If you can't solve the problem today, don't stress yourself out about it, or whatever the issue is or anything in life. And so then it's all right, you're fine. You're doing okay. Or even friends. Your friends are all getting married or having kids, even the pressures. It's just oh, I'm behind. No, you're fine. Take your time. Whenever it happens, is how I feel about it. But
yeah, and I mean, everybody's on their own path, so you can't really judge yourself based on what other people are doing, right?
Exactly. Yeah. You can't compare.
No,
because that's where you get in your head, and that's where you're they're doing this and this and this. What you think that definition of success is, but in reality, it's you guys are on completely different paths.
Yeah.
You've had probably many other kinds of successes that you're not looking at the time. So looking at the perspective of looking inward, reflecting on what you've achieved, what you've done, those are your successes, how big or small they are. And that's what I think, when we're comparing ourselves to other things or other people, we lose sight of those things that we've already accomplished or what we're working on accomplishing. Yeah.
And so it's so easy to do that with social media these days.
True.
It makes it so easy to just almost like a contest. Oh, I look better in this. Oh no, I look better in this. Or whatever it is. It's no, don't compare yourself. Just be you. Be original. And love yourself, and then all will be well.
Speaking of social media, it's a great segue, Spencer. I mean, we didn't even plan that, but look where we are. So,
intuitive mind with you.
We're creating content around relationships for this week. So, what are we thinking as far as relatable type content to, like we mentioned, Valentine's Day week for people, either whether they're looking forward to it or not. how do we provide that relatability from Kristen's channel and
Really,
day to day?
Really, like, to me, like, the first thing that like comes to my mind is just like the people she surrounds herself with, because it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship.
Right.
You know, it can be the people you surround yourselves with and you feel most comfortable with and you feel loved by. You don't have to, you know, have a girlfriend, boyfriend, you know, vice versa, whatever it is. But that's where I see that. So like her with people she cares about the most, doing the things that they like, or, you know, just enjoying, or out in like the city and whatnot, just enjoying themselves for who they all are and like as a group. Like that's like the first thing that pops into mind for me right there.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, after that, you could even get into the side of where we show even your business relationships. So some of like the closest people you do work with, you know, that are not those same people that you're close with, and, you know, showing that side of it. So, and then just trying to relate it to anybody in any situation that you encounter on a daily basis. That's what I feel.
I like that visual, and something I would like to have along with that in the actual captions are tips from you, so they get the visual relatability, but then also they get to hear from you and what you think, you know, you should value in relationships and things like that. So do you have anything that comes to mind when it comes to relationship tips?
Integrity.
Okay, that's a good one.
I like that.
Hands down. The golden rule, you know, treating others the way you want to be treated. Like it seems so simple, yet so many people have a hard time grasping this concept.
Yeah, it is tough.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Those are good ones. And kind of along those lines too, I wonder, do you have any tips as far as like how, I don't know, I feel like there's a balance as far as being selfish and selfless in a relationship, you know, maybe finding some harmony there. Do you have any tips on that?
I think that kind of goes down into, I mean, if you feel like there's an imbalance, like of self, like again, giving out too much of yourself versus I think that comes down to understanding maybe like the love languages that we all possess. You know, we are all a little bit different on which ones we resonate with, both giving and receiving. So figuring out, you know, where those or who or what situations help to fulfill those love languages that you're desiring, that you need to feel good about yourself and to move through your life.
We could even include quotes from the book.
Yep.
Why not?
Yeah.
The book is so good. Yeah.
Yeah, so I like that.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that concept. It's a
Yeah,
good way to put it.
I think that's really gonna hit home with people. Awesome. So, do you have any tips for people right now, like during this week, as far as relationships go? What comes to mind?
Oh my gosh.
A million things, I'm sure.
Well, first and foremost, you know, me being single, I'm like, just go out and have fun, whoever that is with, or if that's by yourself. Like, there's nothing wrong with being by yourself and enjoying nature, going to different things, but it's also fun to be around other people that lift up your energy, that are positive and like-minded as well.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a great tip for sure. Man, we're gonna have a lot of cool content on this one.
Oh
so
yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I'm excited.
I'm excited about this week.
Yeah.
It's gonna be nice. So for everybody listening, go check out Revolutionary Wellness and check out Kristen's Instagram as well. Both links are in the description. We'll have all sorts of cool content for this week.
Thank you guys, and have a wonderful Valentine's week, whether it's with yourself or others or that significant other. So just have a great time.
Thank you. We'll see you very soon.